Part 10. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 91. Chapter 91, Su Junming was plotted. On the Tai's Hang Ling Tai, the vitality is stored in 3 and separated into 1, divided into 9 into sons. This is the path of the 9 sons of Demon Mother Demon, and this is the path of the Supreme Demon, OMG. Su Junming originally thought that the old man with the goatee would use the 9 heaven seal script of gods and demons as a condition to let him live. Who would have expected that this guy would recite all of this magic method directly? With Su Junming's current soul cultivation level, it is enough to remember it once. After some reflection, I used a bronze mirror for reference. The entire article is complete and contains no errors or omissions. Why? The old man with the goatee smiled. After the previous fight, I can see that although you are a young Taoist priest, you are also a ruthless character. If I use this technique to blackmail you into letting me live, I will probably not agree. In this case, I will simply sue you. Little Taoist priest, now you know the 9 heaven seal script of gods and demons. I have gathered 1 mother and 7 sons from the 9 sons. If you control Yangtze, I will use the Qinglong Gang's power in Tanzhou and the Yangtze River to help you find Taiyan. It's not difficult to become a daughter. As for the son of Xiang, he is the child of the Ma family who was rescued by you. In this way, in as long as half a year and in 1 month, you can practice the 9 sons of heavenly demon. In this practice that you anything can't do world and become a top monk. Su Junming's expression darkened. You want to lure me into the devil's path. He, ha ha ha. After laughing, the old man with the goatee said loudly, that's right. The Tongtian Dafa is placed in front of you, let's see if you are tempted. If you are tempted, you will renounce the Luofu sect and the righteous path. Not only do you have to face the painful eyes of your teacher, but you even have to kill them. If you are not tempted, the yin swallowing jar is the treasure of Shu Cave, and it is the best thing for tempering the Gu Mother. They will never give up. You will face the consequences of hundreds of Gu masters in Shu Cave endless pursuit. If the Bai Miao Gu master of Julai Cave gets the news, he will not let you go either. Don't even think about hiding in the Luofu section. The 9 sons mother is the secret method of magic. Back then, countless elders in your Luofu sect were killed by the 9 sons mother and the devil. If you were discovered inside the gate of the Luofu sect, you would be captured in an instant. Kill. So, no matter what you choose, you won't have an easy time. Compared to killing you, this kind of torture will bring out the bad breath in my heart. Ha ha ha. Su Junming looked ugly. He didn't expect that he won the fight but was plotted against him later. Looking at the yin swallowing jar in his hand, this is a top quality magic weapon with 12 levels of treasure prohibition. Not even a golden elixir cultivator may have one. It is indeed very difficult for him to give up such a treasure. You are already dead, how could the Gu master in Chiyu Cave know that the yin swallowing jar is in my hand? And aren't you still alive and well? My Chiyu Cave has its own Gu master who is proficient in the art of calculation. The swallowing yin jar has been kept in Chiyu Cave for thousands of years. Cause and effect are entangled, so calculation is naturally easier. The calculation can only calculate the approximate direction, but it will not find me, Su Junming said. Unless you are a master of numerology at the nascent soul level, it is simply impossible to accurately calculate a person's location. But in the current world of cultivation, let alone Yuanying, he had never heard of any gold elixir level numerology master. I don't need to find you directly, I just need to calculate your approximate location. My Chiyu Cave tracking spirit Gu can smell the breath left by the yin swallowing jar from thousands of miles away. So as long as you use this they'll find you, baby. You seem very proud, Su Junming said coldly. Shouldn't you be proud to see your hated enemy in a dilemma of life and death? Haha. I hope you will come to the underworld, put in oil pans, pull out tongues in the 18 hells, and be reincarnated as a beast for 10 lives in the future, and still be as proud as you are now. Although he was angry, Su Junming had no habit of torturing a prisoner. The old man with the goatee's expression froze, and then he shook his head. I won't go to hell. It's not up to you. You have elders in mission who are on duty in hell, and our Chu cave is no exception. If I get down there, I will definitely tell you about the yin swallowing jar. If you are not afraid that the matter will be exposed, you will be directly killed by Chu cave. If the cave chases me, let me go. Su Junming narrowed his eyes. Aren't you afraid that I will make you lose your soul and prevent you from going to the underworld? The sins I have committed are enough to suffer in the 18 hells for 300 years and to be a beast for another 20 lifetimes. In comparison, it is better to be left alive, at least I don't have to suffer. If a person loses his soul, all he has left is the mark of his true spirit. When the true spirit mark is reincarnated, even if he becomes a human again, he is still a brand new person. He has no previous life, only this life, and everything starts again. Even if you embark on the path of spiritual practice again, break through the golden elixir, and realize your past life, you will not have any memory of your previous life. You are really cruel. Su Junming somewhat admired this old guy. Not everyone would choose to lose their soul and disappear completely. An ant is still greedy for life. If I had a way out, I wouldn't want to die. But are you willing to let me go? Of course not. As soon as this old guy ran away, the matter of swallowing the yin jar and Jushin Duzwen divine demonic technique could no longer be concealed. In order to keep the secret, Su Junming would not let him continue to live no matter what conditions he said, even if it was just his soul. He doesn't want to leave any trouble for himself. At this time, the sky was already bright, and the previous explosion attracted more and more people, including not only ordinary people, but also monks. Su Junming didn't want to be exposed, so he put away the 4 talismans, unfolded the Swanyan flag, and after taking in the soul of the old man with the goatee, he used his magic technique and the whole person disappeared instantly. In an ordinary small courtyard in the south of Tanzhou City, a dozen big men wearing ordinary people's clothes, but unable to hide their fierce aura, held machine guns in their hands and looked around vigilantly. In the room, Yang Zalin sat at the top with a golden sword, with a trace of joy in his eyes. Brother, we succeeded. Next to him, Yang Zishan looked excited. Don't be too happy yet. It's not for you or me to speculate on the power of the innate monks. Don't make any assumptions until the end. What the elder brother said makes sense, but the innate monk is not a golden elixir and cannot fly yet. It is impossible to escape the kilograms of explosives we left behind. Yang Zalin nodded. Having said that, it's better to be cautious. We'll stay here for the next few days. When the wind blows over, it's not too late to go out. Everything is subject to Big Brother's orders. By the way, I asked the kitchen to make Big Brother's favorite babao chicken this morning, and I asked them to serve it. Yang Zalin nodded. Zhao Si, Wang Ding. Yang Zishan shouted towards the door, but there was no sound for a while. Zhao Si, Wang Ding, are you deaf? Anger arose in Yang Zishan's heart. He was about to wake up the 2 guys standing at the door, but saw a stream of white light shooting straight towards his eyebrows. This familiar scene instantly made his liver and gallbladder split. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 92. Chapter 92, Yanglu Yinlai. Rare. Before a word of fate could be spoken, Yang Zisheng died on the spot. Compared to his younger brother, Yang Zalin is obviously much stronger because of his cultivation. With a bang palm, he broke the wall and prepared to escape. However, the speed of the white stream of light was much faster than his movement. I have a secret to offer. Aha! White light passed through the back of the head, and the body ran 2 meters with inertia before falling to the ground with a thud. Su Junming jumped off the wall, stretched out his hand, and the white bone needle fell into his palm. The Swanyan flag waved and took in the two souls. The senior officials of the Qinglong gang who knew about the grudges and secrets between him and the old man with the goatee were now wiped out by him. As long as you don't use the yin swallowing jar, you don't have to worry about people from the Chiyu cave coming to your door. He stretched out his hand and a square box flew out from the arms of Yang Zalin's body. He took it over and opened it, and 6 or 7 deposit receipts were placed inside. Citigroup, HSBC, and other names familiar to Su Junming are all among them. Looking at the amount, it's £100,000. Obviously, this is all the wealth accumulated by the Qinglong gang over the years. In addition to the deposit receipt, there is a book underneath the box. Kui Hike talks about the art of intercourse. This is a book about the Taoist secret method of yin and yang cultivation. The book is incomplete, missing the cultivation methods of Yuanying and Yuanshen stages, leaving only foundation building, Xiantian and golden elixir. Although it is a pity, Su Junming himself did not intend to follow the path of dual cultivation, and in the remaining content, there is a lot of talk about the yin and yang path of yin and yang mutually reinforcing each other, negative yin and embracing yang. He also has some thoughts on practicing pure yang and pure yin. Help. In addition, the methods for cultivating several magic weapons and some spells in the appendix are very useful. Rather than simply gold and silver, this secret book was more to his liking. This is a good Taoist double cultivation secret method, but you actually mastered it as a tonic technique. You really deserve to die. After finding several thousand taels of silver notes from Yang Zisheng, Su Junming burned the two bodies with a fire. After eliminating the breath left by him, he took back the ropes that bound the bodies and left quietly. After this incident, he has no control over whether the Qinglong gang will be destroyed or survive in the future, and he doesn't want to. 3 days later, a new grave was found in the pine forest outside Tanzhou City. Mao Tiaoyu was dressed in white mourning clothes, his face was pale, and his eyes were dull as he knelt in front of the grave. Seeing him like this, Su Junming sighed. The death of your only relative is a blow that not only a child, but also an adult may not be able to bear. He took 2 steps forward and covered Mao Tiaoyu's head with his right palm. Cry if you want. The corners of Mao Tiaoyu's eyes trembled, and he gritted his teeth to prevent himself from crying. After staring at his grandfather's tombstone for a moment, he suddenly turned around and kowtowed 3 times to Su Junming. I beg the Taoist master to accept me as his disciple and teach me my skills. Then what? Su Junming said calmly. I want to become stronger so that no one dares to bully me. Mao Tiaoyu is categorical. In his understanding, it was the Qinglong gang who killed his grandfather, not the practitioners. Su Junming didn't tell him the truth. After all, this kind of thing was beyond Mao Tiaoyu's knowledge and it was too troublesome to explain. Su Junming sighed with some disappointment. Mao Tu is a pure yang body, which is suitable for practicing the pure yang bagua of Mission Nanzang. Although he had committed theft, but considering that he was young and extremely filial, he planned to recommend him to Uncle Ju so that he could be disciplined and become a successor to the Taoist tradition. But he can never forget the power. After all, he is not a Taoist. Without morality, no matter how good your qualifications are, they are useless. Su Junming didn't have time to change him little by little. When he got to Uncle Ju, he was afraid it would be another Asing. Since you worship me 3 times, I will accept you as a registered disciple and teach you a set of skills. As for how far you can go in the future, it all depends on you. If a registered disciple does not enter the gate, his future life and death, good and evil, will have nothing to do with Su Junming. Thank you, master. Su Junming nodded. Get up. When Mao Tiaoyu got up, Su Junming led him to an open space. Follow me, make fists with both hands and place them at your waist. Mao Tiaoyu followed suit. Spread your legs apart, keep your feet flat, and squat with your legs bent. Pay attention to your breathing. After teaching him once, Su Junming began to correct Mao Tu's stance. What he teaches is the foundation of Kung Fu, Pile Kung Fu. This set of pile skills was not included in the Deng Zhenju, but was written in a set of 4 elephant palms he saw in the Yin Mingzi notes. Su Junming has never practiced the 4 elephants palm, but at his current level of cultivation, combined with the bronze mirror, any foundation building level body training technique can be fully understood after watching it a few times without fear of making mistakes. Mao Tianyu had a good understanding, and he had mastered the entire set of 4 elephant palms in half a month. But if you want to use it against the enemy, it's still far away. At night, after Mao Tu fell asleep, Su Junming took out the Swanyan flag and waved it casually, and the figure of the old man with the goatee flew out of it. "Why don't you kill me? I have something else to ask you. The core secrets have been revealed, and there is no need to hide the rest." He was also afraid that Su Junming would torture his soul when he used himself to save others. "Do you know the ghost nest in the Sen family's old house?" "Of course. I went there once in order to collect ghosts to sacrifice and train the ghost mother. If I hadn't seen the opportunity quickly, I might have died there." There was a trace of fear on the face of the old man with the goatee. The scene of hundreds of fierce ghosts attacking him was now an unforgettable nightmare in his mind. "Why are there so many ghosts there? Haven't the practitioners in Tanzhou ever taken care of them?" "Of course I did. There was also a golden elixir from Longhu Mountain, but it was of no use." Su Junming's pupils shrank. "You mean there are evil spirits among those ghosts?" "Evil ghosts are golden elixir level ghosts with powerful strength." "No. Then how can we stop the golden core cultivator?" The old man with the goatee glanced at him. "Have you ever heard of Yangli Yinlai?" Su Junming's expression changed. He had certainly heard of it. Since ancient times, there have been legends about the cave heaven and the blessed land in China. But the cave heaven paradise is only a type of small world, and not all small worlds are cave heaven paradise. Yangli Yinlai is also a kind of paradise, but it is more special and rare, or rare. No one knows how the Yangli Yinlai was formed. But in general, the small world where Yang Qi gathers is called Yanglu in the spiritual world, the small world where Yin energy gathers is called Yinlai in the spiritual world. The Yangli Yinlai is the representative of mustard seeds and sumuru. It may look like a speck of dust or the size of a bead from the outside, but there is a huge space inside. But this greatness is not directed at people, but at intangible and qualitative things. For example, the human soul. Especially Yinlai, which is naturally very attractive to Yin souls. It is easy for a ghost to find the underworld and enter it. But people in the Yang world, unless they have profound knowledge of space, cannot find the exact location in the Yin world. No wonder Jindan monks can't do anything about those ghosts, Su Junming said. When they encounter powerful Jindan monks, those evil ghosts will hide in the underworld. When they encounter ordinary monks, they will come out to cause trouble. The haunting of the Sen family has become a stubborn disease in the Tanzhou cultivation world. If it weren't for Sen Chunqian, the old man of the Sen family, Zheng Guan as the governor of Guangdong and Guangxi, he is a very popular minister and is protected by the luck of the dynasty. There is no one left in the Sen family for a long time. This sentence solved a doubt in Su Junming's mind. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 93. Chapter 93, 9 Sons of Ghost Mother and Heavenly Demon. I see that there is no spiritual energy fluctuation at all during your actions. It must be the Huishan method, right? Su Jun knew clearly that he was talking about his own Hu Tian Shen technique, so he nodded. It's not an injustice for me to lose to Hu Tian's way. After a pause, since you understand the way of Hu Tian, if you can find the yin li and introduce yang qi into it, you can get a high quality cave. With this foundation, you will have the opportunity to gather spiritual energy in the future and achieve the realm of nascent soul. After looking at him, Su Junming was not too moved. This bastard is really old and mature, and he actually wants to provoke my greed. A cave is good, but his life is important. Of course, he has another option, which is to use the foundation laid by this old guy to practice the 9 heaven seal script of gods and demons, but this is tantamount to annihilating mission, and a wise man will not do it. And asking him to kill 2 children to practice the method really goes against his principles. Hand over the Gu nerve of your Chi Yu cave and the method of controlling and refining Gu. He, no problem. If you are interested, I can also tell you how to tame the treasure of the Chi Yu cave, the 100 poison golden silkworm Gu. Su Junming has also heard of the reputation of the 100 poison golden silkworm Gu. It is a golden elixir level spiritual insect. It is only because of this spiritual worm that Chu cave can stand in Miao territory for thousands of years. Of course Su Junming is interested in such a treasure. Although the mission Nanzong screamed and killed the demonic way of restraining the soul and refining the soul, it was very tolerant of the Gu way. However, the 100 poison golden silkworm Gu is the lifeblood of the Black Miao Holy Land Chu cave, and is 100 times more important than the yin swallowing jar. If he dares to covet it, the Gu cultivators in Chu cave will really fight him to death. Of course, Su Junming didn't say anything if he didn't want this. He wants to drain all the old guy's inventory. After asking for it all night, after getting what he wanted, he shook the Swanyan flag and shattered the souls of many senior officials of the Qinglong gang inside. Only the mark of the true spirit is left behind, and he returns to heaven and earth. Each of these people is full of resentment, and they are not worthy of sympathy at all. Hey ha! The sound of Mao Tiaoyu practicing his fists made Su Junming wake up from refining the treasure. Feeling that the Swanyan flag in his palm was a little more agile than before, he couldn't help but nodded with satisfaction. This flag contains all the yin energy from a small yin vein under the Qingshui River in Tanhua village. It is very heavy and although powerful, it consumes mana. Su Junming would not use it lightly unless necessary. In 3 more months, all the yin qi in it will be refined. By then, Swanyan Banner will also have the capital to advance. After playing with it for a while, he took out the yin swallowing jar, 2 corpse tying ropes, a golden lock for subduing demons, and a 6 suppression talisman he drew. Together with the yin swallowing jar, he suppressed 9 of them. Ghost Mother. As soon as the sealing technique changed, a rope was withdrawn to bind the corpse, and a trace of dense air of 8 colors was emitted from the yin swallowing jar. Su Junming looked solemn, doing 2 things at once. With a wave of the Swanyan flag in his left hand, he put away the 8-colored dense air. The sword in his right hand pointed at the virtual point. The flying corpse rope quickly fell down and sealed the yin swallowing jar. He breathed a sigh of relief and put the yin swallowing jar into his bag. When I looked inside the Swanyan flag with my spiritual consciousness, I felt a headache. This thing is the original ghost energy of the 9 Suns Ghost Mother, which is the essence of yin energy, mixed with the power of joy, anger, sorrow, thought, sadness, fear, surprise, and lust produced by thousands of ghosts to create the 9 Suns. Mother's demonic energy. Because there is only one mother and 7 sons, the 2 powers of evil and fear are missing. Su Junming wanted to destroy the 9 Suns Ghost Mother and use the yin swallowing jar for his own use, so he had to work hard with water and refine the 9 Suns Mother's demonic chi bit by bit. Only in this way can one Ghost Mother, who is infinitely close to the golden elixir, and 7 ghosts, who are equivalent to innate perfection, be dissolved into the invisible. This can be regarded as a great merit he has accumulated. Holding the Swanyan flag with both hands, the mana in the Danshan surges, stimulating the restriction and refining of the 9 Suns of heavenly demonic chi. The essence of yin qi is the nourishment for the advancement of the Swanyan flag, and the power of the 7 emotions and 6 desires is the impurity that needs to be removed. Su Junming is doing it now. The best thing is to strip away the latter. Auras of spiritual light flashed, and there was no doubt about the power of the Swanyan banner, which was a high-grade magical weapon. A faint 8-color aura was stripped out. As soon as Su Junming's consciousness touched, the voices and emotions of countless dead souls laughing, wailing, crying, greedy, furious, lustful, miserable, and hateful, instantly emerged from the bottom of his heart. The purifying heart talisman placed above the dantian in advance bloomed with light and quickly suppressed the power of the 7 emotions and 6 desires. After repeating the Qingming festival at the Lingtai, Su Junming felt cold sweat in his heart as he recalled his previous experiences. This kind of demonic energy from the 9 Suns Mother that evokes all the negative emotions in people's hearts in an instant is really terrifying. No wonder all the cultivators are as afraid of the demonic calamity as a tiger. Looking at the separated power of 7 emotions and 6 desires, Su Junming carefully sealed it into a jade bottle and kept it away. The power of the 7 emotions and 6 desires comes from the soul, and the path of the soul is also an avenue he is practicing now. However, the soul-binding talisman he practiced tended to capture and restrain. It was only an inferior method of the soul, and it was far behind the 9 heavens seal, the gods and demons. The latter's explanation of the soul was a huge reference for him in understanding the way of the soul. If he can understand that he can use the 7 emotions and 6 desires without resorting to the 9 suns and heavenly demons, then his soul Taoism will be accomplished. After refining 3 strands of 9 suns of heavenly demonic qi, Su Junming stopped. Although he dreams of becoming an immortal and becoming an ancestor, the life of 996 is not what he wants. No matter what it is, once the passion is exhausted, it will not be good. He got up and got out of bed, opened the door and came out. Mautu was standing consciously in the warm morning sunshine, with a tense face, standing still. Beads of sweat flowed down his cheeks to his neck, soaking his clothes. Su Junming nodded with satisfaction. Blessing 007 is the best color of youth. After accepting Mao Tianyu as a registered disciple, he found that he could understand Uncle Ju better. Teaching apprentices something like this can become really addictive over time. After waving, Mao Tu quickly ran over. Master. Well, Mao Tianyu, your grandfather has passed his 7th birthday, it's time for me to leave too. Master is leaving. Su Junming nodded. Then what do I do? I'll leave you a sum of money, enough for you to live on. In addition, I have a gift for you. He took out a porcelain bottle from the bag and handed it to Mao Tianyu. There are 3 essence and blood pills in it. You take half of them every month. After each dose, stand still for an hour, and then do the 4 elephant palms 3 times. Stop until your body is no longer hot. Master, I hate to let you go. Grandpa is gone, and now he is only half a relative like his master. Patted his head. Silly boy, didn't you say that you are an adult at the age of 12? You are an adult now, and you should learn to live independently like an adult. In addition, I have asked manager Huang of Shenglong Bank to take care of you. Last time he come on, you've seen it too. If you have something you can't solve on your own, go ask him for help. Then will you come again in the future? Of course, master will come to see you when he has time. But if you don't improve your kung fu the next time I come, I will never come again. Master, don't worry, I will practice diligently and I will never embarrass you. If this is the case, master will be relieved. Su Junming's face darkened. Before I leave, I have a few words to explain. Although you are just a registered disciple of the master, if you dare to bully the master and destroy your ancestors, bully the weak, and do all kinds of evil, then the master will personally take action, take back your martial arts, and punish you. Life. Mao Tianyu remained silent and nodded quickly. That's what I said, you can do it for yourself. Go and become a teacher. The sound is ethereal, and the person has disappeared. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 94. Chapter 94 Mega Shanfang City. Megyu Mountain, located in Zhejiang, is a famous Taoist mountain and the only Taoist holy land with cave heaven and blessed land. But now, with the end of heaven and earth, the Dangxia Cave Heaven, one of the 36 small Taoist caves recorded in the 7 lots of clouds, and the 10th blessed land among the 72 blessed lands, have become legends. What really makes Megyu Mountain famous is Fangshi located in Xiandiguan of Wuliaofeng. Su Junming followed the pilgrims all the way up the mountain to the Taoist temple gate. He briefly looked at the golden lion gates on the left and right, the yellow outer walls, and the palace pavilion with the inscription Xiandu Temple written on it. He did not go in, but avoided the pilgrims and walked from the left. A stone road leaves. There are bursts of pines and waves on both sides, and the scenery is profound. Occasionally, tourists who like to explore the secrets linger here. Seeing him coming, I just looked at him curiously and didn't pay much attention. In an important place of Taoist temples, it is quite common to see Taoist priests. The only difference is that this Taoist priest is a little too tall and strong. With a height of nearly 7 feet, he is especially outstanding in the south. Su Junming walked to the end of the stone road, and a moon gate appeared in front of him. The thick wooden door is tightly closed, with 3 characters carved on the lintel, Megyufang. There is a stone tablet on the right side. If you are a fairy, please enter this door. Even if you are impermanent, please come in. The meaning of this sentence is, no matter you are on the righteous path or the demonic path, whether you are a ghost cultivator or a Buddha, as long as you come to Megyufang for business, you can come in. It seems that the predecessors who founded this market also know very well that only by gathering enough customers can we expand the market. At the same time as the thought fell, Su Junming silently used the magic power of his dantian to pat the wooden door from a distance, according to what his master said. After absorbing his magic power, the wooden door creaked open to both sides, and Su Junming stepped in. This wooden door only isolates ordinary people without magic power. Monks in the foundation building stage can also come in if they input dantian qi into this wooden door. After passing through the wooden door, there is an archway directly in front, and behind the archway is a cliff. Su Junming walked around the archway 3 times clockwise and walked in through the main entrance in the middle. The situation suddenly changed before his eyes, the cliff disappeared, and a stone road 2 feet wide appeared in front of him. There are neatly arranged lofts on both sides of the stone road, with cornices and brackets, and simple attics. There is also a row of yards behind the attic. At first glance, it looks no different from an ordinary small town. After Su Junming took a brief look, his eyes flashed through the mirror. With the help of the bronze mirror, he could clearly see the French nets in the windy sky. The coverage area exceeds 1,000 feet, and the level of this formation has probably reached the Dongxian level. If I can understand it, my formation cultivation will definitely be able to go further. When Su Junming came to Megashanfang City, in addition to broadening his horizons, gaining knowledge and collecting some cultivation resources he needed, the most important thing was this formation. A functioning formation is the best formation textbook. Recover the bronze mirror. Don't rush now, there will be plenty of time later. Stepping forward, the first thing that catches your eye is the first building on the left. There is nothing surprising about the double-story attic, but Su Junming's consciousness cannot penetrate the outer wall at all. Obviously, there are severe restrictions in this attic. Suant Hall. The 3-character plaque comes into view. I remember Master said that Suant Hall is the store of Qinggui sect in Fangxi. The Qinggui sect is also a major sect among the 3 mountains of Fuzuan, although it is not as good as the Longhu Mountain, Mission Southern sect, Mission Northern sect and Shenxiao sect. It has also developed well in recent years. This two-story attic is no inferior to the Shaojing Hall of Mission Bazong opposite. After Su Junming briefly looked at it, he continued to move forward. When he first came to Megashanfang City, of course he had to report to the Dengzhen Pavilion of Mission Nanzang. Getting things done is easier with acquaintances. This principle remains true no matter where you are. Megashanfang City is not that big. After all, the population of the spiritual community is not large, and there are also Laguandeafang City, Wuotationfang City and Pengleifang City to divert customers. Su Junming walked forward for a few minutes, and the storefront of Mission Nanzang appeared in his eyes. Opposite was the Tianqi Hall in Longhu Mountain. The two stores, together with the Shenxiao Sex Shenxiao Hall next door, occupy the core area of Megashanfang City. After a brief look, Su Junming walked straight into the Dengzhen Pavilion. At the moment of entry, it seems that a slightly sticky film has been broken through. At the same time, Su Junming also felt that all the dust, wind, frost, rain, dew, and filth on his body had been swept away along the way. In addition, he found that the spiritual energy inside the Dengzhen Pavilion was obviously 2 or 3 times thicker than outside. Such an environment has obvious benefits for the preservation of talismans, elixirs, and magical instruments. Elixirs and talismans on the first floor, magic tools and miscellaneous items on the second floor. There are prices on the shelves. Once you have picked them, bring them here to check out. If you want to sell or consign, go to the room opposite. A lazy voice came from behind the counter opposite the door. Su Junming turned around and took a look. The first thing that caught his eye was the Huangting Jing with heavy scratch marks on its surface. After the Huangting Sutra, there is a big head. Because the books cover it, only the part from the forehead can be seen. Judging from the exposed fingers, this person's tonnage is probably comparable to that of the second senior brother. Saw sparse passenger flow in the lobby. Thankfully, we have the support of Mission Nanzang. Otherwise, this kind of indifferent management attitude will make Dengzhen Pavilion prosperous because it is the possession of Emperor Ou. Su Junming walked to the counter before he could speak. If you want to buy something, look at it first. If you want to sell something, go inside and negotiate the price first. I only pay the bills here. The fat man at the counter said without raising his head. I am a disciple of the inner sect of Mission Nanzang. It is my first time to come to Megashanfang City and I want to meet Master Uncle Chen Xiaofeng. The Huangting Jing tilted, and a head with a fat head and big ears that looked somewhat similar to He Shen was revealed. The corner of Su Junming's mouth trembled. He originally thought that this person was a hard-working person who silently recited Huangting during the day, and he admired him very much. But the shocking glimpse just now, the emotional Huangting Jing and so on, were all disguises. Jinping Mei, who has pictures and truth, is the truth. Looking at the fat man's look, he knew that he must have been very immersed in watching it before. It's you. The fat man looked surprised. You know me. You forgot that we have met in the Inner Gate Tibetan Scripture Pavilion. Su Junming suddenly realized that when he came out of the main hall where the 7 fundamental Taoist methods were hidden, he bumped into a fat man head-on. At that time, everyone was pressed for time, so they just nodded and left. Now after he reminded him, Su Junming also remembered the past. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 95. Chapter 95 Dengzhen Pavilion. Noticing the change in his expression, the fat man smiled. Lu Dihua, the next generation with the word Chong, has met my senior brother. Su Junming's feet went weak and he almost fell. What did you say your name was? Lu Dihua, is this name weird? The fat man scratched his head and asked curiously. He felt that his name was quite flirtatious. In the past, as soon as he was introduced, all the young ladies and young wives would look down on him. The only pity is that when I want to talk to them about life and ideals, and learn English by the way, all of them run away very fast. So much so that after 20 years of hard work, he still hasn't confessed his virginity. How sad. Su Junming took a deep breath. No matter what, there is no way to combine the name of the King of Heaven with the guy in front of me. That picture is simply not too beautiful. It's nothing, junior brother's name is really refreshing. Haha, right? I knew someone would appreciate it. Seeing him look like he had found someone with the same ideals, Su Junming smiled hard and then cupped his hands. Su Junming, the generation with the word Chong, has met his junior brother. Originally, it was his first time to visit him and he wanted to call him senior brother. After all, it was not surprising that there were so many people. But now that I have been called senior brother first, there is no need to pretend to decline. Senior brother Su, is this your first time coming to Magishan? No wonder I've never met senior brother. Dihua. A slightly hoarse voice came from the next cubicle. Master, I'll be there right away, he responded quickly. Come on, I'll take you to see the master and then arrange for you to stay. Su Junming nodded, followed him, opened the door and walked into the cubicle. This is a room about 50 square meters in size. Directly opposite is a black sandalwood table, and behind it is a bookshelf. It is filled with neatly bound books, but there are not many signs of being turned. Next to the window, there is a black 6-foot-long desk, with all the 4 treasures of the study on it. There are several taishi chairs next to the desk, which are now empty. Put these things on the shelf on the 2nd floor. Su Junming glanced subconsciously. A dagger, a flag, and a spiritual light are all low-grade magic weapons. As for how many treasures are forbidden, we will not know until they are sacrificed and refined. Master, this is senior brother Su Junming who just came from mission. A middle-aged man with a thin face, a mustache, small eyes, and a loose bun on his head looked up from his desk. I couldn't help but look back and forth at the master and disciple. One is as fat as his second senior brother, and the other is as skinny as a skinny boy. This is the first time he has seen such a combination. However, according to the master's 4 eyes, this thin monkey like Uncle Chen is indeed extremely talented. In their generation, he is second only to Shi Jian and Uncle Ju. He is also a genius who is about to reach perfection in the late stage of innate talent, and he is proficient in weapon refining. Road. Su Junming meets Uncle Chen. Chen Xiaofeng looked up and down and said, "Who is your master?" Family master's 4 eyes. 4 eyes. That 4-eyed frog that chases corpses every day. Exactly. Chen Xiaofeng stood up and circled Su Junming twice. You can't tell, that 4-eyed frog is stupid as hell, but the apprentice he taught is not bad, much better than this damn fat guy. While saying that, he slapped Lu Dihua on the back of the head mercilessly. Master, I'm strong too, okay. You are so strong. You are such an unteachable brat, I don't understand. Master, of course you must study it carefully, Lu Dihua said aggrievedly. You're such a bastard, you're so stupid. I think you're a kid. You're talking about sex, and you're full of sabotage. Master Chen was teaching his disciples unscrupulously, and Su Junming was so embarrassed that his teeth ached next to him. He wanted to help this junior brother who was enthusiastic about him, but seeing how Uncle Chen was jumping in anger, it was better not to get into trouble. You brat, I'm warning you. If there's a big competition between the 2 factions in Changchun Valley in 3 months, and you don't make the top 10, let's see how I deal with you. Lu Dihua nodded quickly. Take your senior brother down and arrange for him to stay in room D. Brother, please. Lu Dihua said hurriedly. Thank you, Master Chen. After you settle in, let this brat take you around the market. If you like something, let him buy it for you. The price will be much cheaper than if you come up with it yourself. Yes. Chen Fengxiao waved his hand. Su Jun retreated knowingly. Brother, Go this way. Lu Dihua hurriedly led him through the hall on the first floor and around the corridor on the left to the back. Call. After heaving a sigh of relief, Lu Dihua's expression relaxed. Let senior brother laugh. Seeing his embarrassment, Su Junming smiled and shook his head. It's okay. My master's temper is as hot as Uncle Chan's. I've been scolded a lot in the past. It's true that these elders always force their opinions into us and don't care about what our young people think, Lu Dihua complained. Su Junming heard this too much on the internet in his previous life. It can be summed up in 2 words, generation gap. Unless you have experienced it yourself, it is difficult to understand the teachings of your elders. Su Junming didn't want to waste his time. Junior brother Lu, where is the room numbered T? That's the building on the left. Su Junming turned around and saw a 2-story wooden building. Mission Nanzhong's Dengzhen Pavilion is an alternative courtyard house. It consists of 4 2-story wooden buildings about 60 to 70 meters long, surrounded by a large garden of thousands of square meters. In the garden, there are springs, ponds, rock eyries, lush forests, and bamboos, and flowers in full bloom, making it look relaxed and happy. A hand-painted corridor connects the 4 wooden buildings, and also allows you to enjoy the garden scenery. Take Su Junming along the left corridor to the wooden building on the east side, climb the steps, and reach the 2nd floor. Pushed open the 2nd room on the right. The living room is in the middle, the study is on the left, and the bedroom is on the right. The total area is 80 or 90 square meters. Although it is not too big, it is enough for 1 person to live in. Are you satisfied, senior brother Su? Su Junming nodded. Junior brother Lu grew up in Fang City. Well, I have lived here with master for as long as I can remember. It has been almost 20 years now. So, junior brother is familiar with everything in Fang City. I'm not boasting. Even if I close my eyes and don't use my consciousness, I won't make a single mistake in the city. What about the prices of magic weapons, elixirs and other items? Su Junming asked again. Hey, senior brother, you have to ask this. In the entire Mega Shanfang city, there are 37 stores and 109 Baofuzai, and there is not one that I am not familiar with. Whether it is elixirs or magic weapons, senior brother wants to. If you want, I guarantee that I can find you the lowest price in the entire market. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 96. Chapter 96 5 Magical Weapons. Su Junming nodded, and took out 3 formation diagrams from the magic bag, a vest with sparkling light, and a 3-stranded steel fork with shining black light. Put it on the table. Junior brother, please give me an estimate. My dear, 5 magic weapons, and 1 middle-grade magic weapon. Lu Dihua was indeed a veteran, and he could judge the levels of the 5 magical artifacts at a glance. Senior brother, you are so arrogant. The rich landlords are far inferior to you. Picking up one piece, touching it, and turning over another piece to look at it, Lu Dihua couldn't put it down. Not bad, not bad. The refining techniques are superb, and almost all the qualifications of these materials have been dug out. Seeing his money-obsessed look, Su Junming instantly felt that he was much more stoic. Dong dong. He tapped his fingers on the table. Junior brother, don't forget about me. Hee, I forgot my feelings for a moment. Don't be offended, senior brother. After a pause, senior brother, these 5 magical weapons are all good, especially the 4 forbidden 3-stranded steel forks and the middle-grade magical weapon forged from 300 refined iron. If you put it in on the market, you can get at least 270 Huanjidan pills. Su Junming nodded. He heard what his master said. In the current world of cultivation, low-grade magical instruments are basically worth 100 yuan, while most medium-grade magical instruments are worth 100 to 300 yuan. The value of high-grade and top-grade magical instruments is more often measured by the biang pill. One biang pill has the same medicinal power as 100 huanja pills. More importantly, the medicinal energy in biang dan is purer than huanja dan, is easier to refine, and is easier to be absorbed by ascetics. Therefore, although one biang pill is worth 100 huanja pills, few people would trade the former for the latter. Where are the rest of these? Array diagrams on the market have always been scarce. Each of these three array diagrams has two levels of treasure bands, and is worth a total of 300 yuan. These three formation diagrams were modified by him using 3-5 poison formation flags. I originally wanted to use them to make a 4-elephant demon slaying array formation, but the material used as the formation flag was only genuine and low quality, so I changed my mind midway and made a 3 talents array and a 4-elephant formation. Evil Killing Array, a 5 elements Tiangang formation. This vest is well made, and the three restrictions are extremely coherent. Among low-grade defensive magic weapons, it is already considered the best. The market price is around 90 yuan. This vest was made by Su Junming from the skin of a weasel. It was supposed to be kept for his own use. After all, he did not have a defensive weapon now. But as soon as he thought about wearing a smelly weasel skin, Su Junming felt uncomfortable. Although I was a little reluctant to part with it, I finally decided to sell it. The 2 corpse tying ropes that were originally for sale were still helping to suppress the 9 Suns ghost mother in the yin swallowing jar. Although the white bone needle is only a low-grade magic weapon of the 3 treasures, it is very fast and comes and goes like lightning, making it much easier to use than the Demon Slayer sword talisman. Along the way, after getting used to it, I couldn't bear to sell it again. So, if they are all sold, the total value of these 5 magic weapons is 660 yuan. That's true, but it's up to me to take action. If senior brother sells it himself, I'm afraid only 500 yuan pills would be pretty good. Su Junming understands this. No matter where the business is, it is always easier for insiders to get the highest market price. However, he also heard the implication that Lu Dihua just wanted to be a second-rate dealer and make a profit from it. As far as I know, all the magical weapons, elixirs, arrays, elixirs, and spiritual materials refined by mission disciples, and bought on behalf of Dengzhen Pavilion, will be drawn 1 out of 10. Hey, senior brother, I only want to draw 1 out of 20, and I will help senior brother sell these things in the shortest possible time. Lu Dihua, who grew up in Megashanfang City, is indeed qualified to say this. What's the price of 300 refined iron on the market now? Su Junming suddenly asked after nodding. 100 yuan for 1 stone. So cheap. We are now in the era of industrialization, and foreigners' refined iron production has increased by several million tons a year. Therefore, the prices of refined iron, red copper, white iron, and other hardware materials have been falling in recent years, and they will fall even more sharply in the future. In ancient times when productivity was low, even those powerful dynasties could only produce hundreds of thousands of kilograms of refined iron a year. Practitioners who want to practice magic weapons need to work hard to mine and smelt iron, and spend countless energy to make a magic weapon. But in modern times, there is ready-made refined iron for you to refine. In the same time, the materials you can refine are dozens or even hundreds of times more than before. With more supply, prices will naturally fall. Brother, in the future, the price of magic weapons that are made from metal elements will definitely drop. If you want to sell such magic weapons, you must sell them as soon as possible. If you want to buy them and are not in a hurry, you can wait. It's only a day now. 1 price. Thank you for telling me, junior brother. I wonder how much the price of 1000 refined iron has dropped now. In the past, one tael of 1000 refined iron was worth 100 biang pills, but now it's about 80 pills. It didn't fall much. It takes a lot of time to practice the 1000 refined iron sacrifice. Unless you are refining a natal magic weapon, who would spend so much effort? The supply is small, and the price will naturally drop less. What about the 600 refinements? 600 refined iron, 1 dough of refined iron, 1 grain of biang pill. Senior brother seems to be very concerned about the price of refined iron. Su Junming nodded. I want to refine a magic weapon, which requires a lot of fine iron. How many? 300 refined iron, 100 tons. Lu Dihua staggered and almost fell. He quickly supported the corner of the table, his mouth trembling. Senior, brother, although refined iron is now cheaper, 300 refined iron is still a medium-grade spiritual material. 100 tons requires at least 160,000 huanja pills and 1,600 biang pills. Even if it is those masters in the golden core stage are not so wealthy either. Su Junming smiled. I don't want 100 tons and 300 refined iron now, I just have such a goal. Lu Dihua breathed a sigh of relief, but then became curious. Senior brother, what do you need so much refined iron for? To temper the 1000 refined iron? Or to refine some natal magic weapon? You will naturally know in the future. You can help me sell these 5 magic weapons, deduct your share, and give me the remaining 100 huanja dan, and then help me buy the extra pills for 1 stone and 300 refining red copper, a bucket of 300 smelted white iron, 6 feet of 300 smelted silk, and the rest will be bought with 100 smelted refined iron. Lu Dihua nodded and looked at Su Junming expectantly. Senior brother, do you know how to refine weapons? Why do you ask? If senior brother didn't know how to refine weapons, he wouldn't have bought so many different types of materials. He was suddenly stunned when he said this. Just when Su Junming was curious, he heard this guy suddenly let out a ouch. Senior brother, are you an array master? You are an array master, right? Wait a minute, did you take the wrong medicine? Or is there something wrong? Su Junming took 2 steps back and hesitated. Lu Dihua didn't seem to hear. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 97. Chapter 97 Lu Dihua's Business Methods. Senior brother, you must be a formation master, otherwise formation maps are so scarce, you wouldn't be able to have 3 formation maps. Senior brother, let's cooperate. You practice the formation maps, and I will be responsible for selling them for you. If nothing else, I will make 1 a year. Hundreds of biang pills, absolutely no problem. With so many elixirs for us to take, it will only take 3 or 4 years for us to achieve innate perfection. I'll see if Master dares to stop me from enjoying the love story between Ximenqing and Jin Lian. Su Junming has countless black lines hanging from his forehead. This guy improved his cultivation just to read pornographic novels? Hey, hey hey, hey hey hey. Jin Lian, hey hey. This idiot's face is really hopeless. He shook his head, breaking his illusion without hesitation. Don't think too much. The reason why formation diagrams are valuable is because the formation method is difficult to understand and the formation diagrams are more difficult to refine. If there is a large supply, the price will naturally fall. If you make hundreds of biang pills a year, you are just thinking too much. Lu Dihua's expression froze, as if this was indeed the case. After spending so many years in Mega Shanfang City, he still knows the relationship between supply and demand and price. Then let's practice less formations and more magic weapons. Su Junming shook his head. Although he had the idea of refining weapons in exchange for resources, he had no intention of focusing mainly on refining weapons. Improving your cultivation and your own Taoist realm is the right way to practice. Otherwise, no matter how high the level of weapon refining is, if you can't become an immortal, sooner or later you will lose everything. Wait until you get what I want. Senior brother, don't worry. It will take as little as 3 days or as long as 7 days. I will get what you want from me, Lu Dihua said excitedly. Then I'll be waiting for news about my junior brother. After Lu Dihua nodded, he turned around and left quickly. Looking at his back, Su Junming said to himself, having such a person here saves me the time of running errands. If you have some free time, it would be good to practice a few more magic weapons and sell them in exchange for resources. Returning to the room, he went to the futon by the window of the bedroom, drew a restraining talisman in the air, sealed the room, and took out 2 jade boxes, one large and one small, from the bag. Sealed in the smaller jade box is a scorpion with a purple-black body, 6 wings on its back, and a majestic head and horns. Sealed in the larger jade box were 29 scorpions with dark black bodies and 4 wings on their backs. It was the flying scorpion goo that Su Junming got from the old man with the goatee. The 6-winged flying scorpion goo has a hard body, flies like lightning, and is extremely poisonous. Even medium-grade magical weapons cannot harm it at all, and it is no less precious than his Swanyan flag. 29 4-winged flying scorpion goo are not worth much individually, but together, their power is doubled. The 6-winged flying scorpion goo, plus these 29 4-winged flying scorpions, is a complete set of Goo Master's inheritance, and its value is no less than the top-grade magical artifacts of the 10 treasure taboos. It's just that Su Junming has no interest in Goo Dao. And he doesn't want to use his blood and essence to support the Goo Mother. Thinking about how the old man with the goatee looked like a skeleton, he felt his hair stand on end. In addition, the weak soul of the Goo insect is too easy to be targeted. Although there are not many people practicing the path of the soul in the spiritual world. But as long as you encounter one, you will easily suffer a big loss. However, it is not easy to carry out this Goo Master inheritance without attracting the attention of Qi Yudong. It requires careful planning. Lu Dihua acted quickly, and within 3 days, what Su Junming wanted was delivered. Senior brother, with my sharp tongue and strong encouragement, the 3 formation diagrams sold for 23 more Huanja pills. The 3-strand fork sold for 5 more Huanja pills, and the yellow vest sold for 11 more Huanja dan. The total is 699. After deducting my 21 share, senior brother earned a total of 664 Huanja pills. In addition, the market price for a stone of red copper that senior brother wanted was 300 Huanja pills, but with my efforts, Fatty Hu from Sihai Pavilion only got 280 pills. A dough of 300-year-old white iron costs 80 yellow bud pills at the market price. I saved 5 yellow bud pills for my senior brother. 6 feet of 300-year-old silk cost 170 yellow bud pills. I saved it for my senior brother 11 yellow bud pills. According to my brother's instructions, the remaining 150 yellow bud pills will buy a total of 75 stones of 100 refined iron. Lu Dihua took out a magic bag and handed it over. 300-year-old silk, red copper, and white iron are all inside. There are too many 100 refined iron items that senior brother wants, and the usage bag is difficult to carry. They are temporarily placed in Fatty Hu's Sihai Pavilion warehouse. Senior brother can pick them up at any time. Su Junming took it over and inspected it, then nodded. Thank you for your hard work, junior brother. Hee, it's not hard. I just hope that senior brother will never forget me if something like this happens again. Lu Dihua rubbed his hands, looking excited and expectant. Growing up in a small city, he has been exposed to the business philosophy of 3 in and 7 out. Apart from Jinping Mei, I'm just interested in this. The continuous display of merit just now is clear evidence. However, Su Junming didn't mind giving some soup and water to this junior brother. At least it saved him the time of running errands and grinding his teeth. With the extra time, he would make more money by refining 1 or 2 magic weapons. Junior brother has many connections in Fang City. If I use magic weapons and formation diagrams, I will naturally need more help from my junior brother. He. Senior brother, don't worry, junior brother will do his best and will never let senior brother suffer. Lu Dihua patted his chest and took care of everything. By the way, when are you going to pick up the 100 refined iron? If it's now, I'll go with you. Is this fatty who reliable? Senior brother, don't worry. If you lend him some courage, he won't dare to deprive us of the inner disciples of mission. That's good. Let's leave it there for now and wait until I refine a few magic weapons before going back. That's good. Senior brother has refined the magic weapon and can call me at any time. Su Junming nodded. Seeing that he wanted to expel the guest, Lu Dihua wisely stood up and left. He was happy that he had made a fortune, and came to the front hall singing 18 touches in his mouth. As soon as he entered the door, he saw his cheap master standing in front of the counter. His heart trembled, his face quickly put on a smile that respected his master, and he ran over in small steps. Master, why did you come out? There are people coming and going in the hall. It is a noisy and dirty place. I am enough to have an apprentice. I need to work on your jade toes. Get lost, come in with me. Chen Xiaofeng rolled his eyes. He was used to hearing flattery from his silly apprentice. Although he didn't hate it, it wasn't as good as before. The master and apprentice entered the next cubicle one after the other. Chen Fengxiao sat down with De Ma Jin Dao, and Lu Dihua served the master tea with a smile. Master, drink tea. Well, let it go. He pointed at the stool opposite. Sit. There is no place for a disciple in front of the master. Chen Fengxiao raised his foot to kick, but Lu Dihua ran to the seat opposite and sat down. Seeing his apprentice's laziness, Chen Fengxiao shook his head inwardly and was too lazy to say anything. This is your character and you can't change it? Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 98. Chapter 98 Fire Essence. How much did you make this time? Hey, 35 Huanjidan. Lu Dihua showed a trace of pride on his face. The results in 3 days were comparable to what he had achieved in the past half year. Master, this senior brother Su is really good at refining weapons. Among the younger generation, I have never seen anyone who can match him. The most important thing is that in addition to refining weapons, senior brother Su can also refine formations. Let's in the sect, all the people who can refine formation diagrams are less than the skills of 2 hands, and he is the only one in the generation with the word Chong. After a pause, Lu Dihua frowned. But master, I know all the elders of our mission inner sect who are skilled in weapon refining. Why haven't I heard of Uncle Four Eyes? Your fourth-eyed master has mastered the Shen de Zhenju and is unparalleled in Guandi's divine fighting. With the great sword, he has killed countless corpses, monsters, and ghosts. Your combat power is not much worse than that of your master. But when it comes to weapon refining, as if I've never heard of it. How is this possible? Did senior brother Su get such a high level of weapon refining out of thin air? How can there be such a good thing in the world? I'm surprised too, so I've already sent a message from Fihi to ask your uncle Simu. I believe there will be news in a few days. Lu Dihua nodded. How do you feel about this person after you have been in contact with him for the past few days? Senior brother Su seems to have no airs on the surface and is quite easygoing, but he doesn't like to talk a lot. However, after several exchanges, I felt that he is very shrewd, has a strong mind, and can get to the core every time he speaks. And he is decisive in doing things. Don't stick to trivial matters, Lu Dihua replied after pondering for a moment. That's a good summary. But you missed a little bit. What? Cultivation and realm. This disciple of senior brother Four Eyes, with outstanding talent, should be about to break through the middle stage of Xiantian. What's so strange about this? As long as there are enough elixirs, it's not too difficult to break through the middle stage of Xiantian. You brat, I haven't finished speaking yet. Staring at the lazy disciple, Chen Xiaofeng said sternly, it is not difficult to improve your cultivation, but it is difficult to understand the realm of Taoism. The three-pronged fork, protective vest, and 3 arrays are made of uniform materials without impurities. They are refined. The player's fire control level is extremely high. According to my teacher's understanding, the sect's sacred fire order must be comprehended at least to the late stage of the white basic talisman to achieve such a level of fire control. The late stage of the Shenhua order white basic talisman? Is senior brother Su really that strong? Lu Dihua said in shock. You brat, are you questioning your master's vision? Seeing his master blowing his beard and staring, Lu Dihua said with a smile, how could it be possible? The apprentice is just surprised. After all, the last time I saw senior brother Su was 3 months ago, when he was at the inner gate of Mission Sutra Pavilion. 3 of them it takes a month to comprehend the late stage of the white essential talisman of the sacred fire order? Then the apprentice has spent more than 10 years living like a dog. Chen Xiaofeng rubbed his chin. 3 months is indeed a short time. Moreover, what senior brother Four Eyes is practicing is the Shen De Zhenju, not the divine fire order. There is no way he could have understood it since childhood. Could it be that the real refiner of these magical weapons is someone else? Can't we just ask? Idiot. How did my teacher teach you? Unless it is a master or a disciple, it is most taboo among practitioners to ask about other people's cultivation realm. The bloody spray on his head made Lu Dihua mutter, I'm just talking. Besides, aren't you an elder? Not even the elders. Lu Dihua shrank his neck, but soon his eyes lit up. By the way, master. This time, my senior brother asked me to buy a lot of materials, which should be for refining magic weapons. If he asks me to take action again, won't we know after tasting them? That's what you say, but how do you know if someone is refining it for your own use? Or for takeout? Besides, it takes at least half a month to refine a low-grade magic weapon with a 3rd-level treasure ban, and a mid-level magic weapon with a 4th-level treasure ban takes even longer. When do you want to go? What should we do? Chen Fengxiao pondered for a moment, then stood up and took down a box from the shelf next to him. He used the hand seal to remove the seal on it and opened it. A surging flame spiritual energy spread instantly. Lu Dihua's eyes lit up, he quickly stood up, looked forward, and blurted out. Fire essence. Dongjin's middle grade spiritual material. Not bad, right? After nodding hard. Master, why haven't you passed on such a good thing to my disciple? Chen Fengxiao's face darkened, he raised his right hand and slapped the bad apprentice on the back of the head mercilessly. Ouch! You're a prodigal, don't I give you enough of my stuff? Hey, master, it was a slip of the tongue, don't be angry, don't be angry. Chen Fengxiao didn't bother to get angry with him and threw the box into his arms. Give it to Su Junming and tell him that this is yours. Ask him to help refine a sacred fire seal. The remaining materials will be considered as reward for him. The divine fire seal. That's the magical weapon that your master Zhao from Mission asked me to refine for his apprentice. Don't even think about it. Aren't you afraid that senior brother Su will damage this jade? So, just tell him to just refine the 4 treasure taboos. With the material of this fire spirit marrow, refining the 4 treasure taboos is not difficult even for a slightly experienced weapon refiner. Lu Dihua nodded. The reason why the magic weapon will be destroyed is because the number of restrictions added exceeds the endurance of the material itself. As a middle-grade Dongzhen spiritual material, the fire spirit marrow can withstand the 6 treasure taboos. Even if the level of weapon refining is not high, the 4 treasure prohibitions will not destroy the materials. You're not going to test it. What level has senior brother Su's weapon refining level reached? Chen Fengxiao glanced at him sideways. If you have a medium-grade spiritual material, you might as well take it and let him refine it for you. He, forget it. Forget it. Lu Dihua waved his hand quickly. Just kidding, Dongzhen's middle-grade spiritual materials are extremely precious. Don't say he doesn't have it. Even if he does, he won't use it as a test subject. If it's destroyed, he won't even cry. Then go quickly. Chen Fengxiao was about to kick him, but Lu Dihua, who was very eye-catching, ran out of the room without saying a word. This guy really doesn't look like my disciple. The red copper refined 300 times is a medium-grade spiritual material from Dongzhen. If it is refined 600 times, it will be the top grade of Dongzhen. After 900 refinements, you will be the best in Dongzhen. 1000 refined red copper is a cave-level spiritual material that has almost become a legend by now. Su Junming threw the red copper block in his hand, which was only the size of an apple. Although it didn't look big, it weighed 120 kilograms. After playing with it for a while, he picked up the cherry-sized white metal block next to it. This thing is called white iron in the spiritual world. In fact, it is the tin in hardware. He planned to use these 2 things to refine a lamp holder, and together with his purple spirit white fire, to refine a magical weapon. As for the 6-foot 300-year-old silk next to it, it was just ordinary Dongzhen low-grade silk. He planned to refine 6 formation diagrams and sell them in exchange for refined iron. Ever since he understood the method of space compression from the Huishan talisman, he has been planning to practice a large magic weapon. Now I have an idea, but the 100 refined iron in my hand is not enough. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 99. Chapter 99 Divine Fire Seal. Dong dong. There was a sudden knock on the door. Su Junming waved his hand and put the 3 materials into the bag and removed the restrictions on the door. Come in. Lu Dihua opened the door and walked in. Senior brother Su, I'm here again, don't you bother me. Can I say excuse me? Su Junming shook his head, please sit down. Hey, thank you, senior brother. After sitting down unceremoniously, Lu Dihua took out the box given by his master and removed the seal on it. Feel the rich flame aura within it. This is. Brother, please look. Push the box in front of Su Junming. In this case, there is no need to be polite. Opening the lid, a 6-inch square box contained a roughly square stone that was completely red, with haze flowing inside. Is this the fire essence? There was excitement in Su Junming's tone. Fire spiritual essence is a spiritual stone that is born after the underground rock veins have been calcined by earth fire for 300 years. It contains powerful flame essence and is a medium-grade spiritual material from Dongzhen. Senior brother has good eyesight, it is the essence of fire. Su Junming took it in his hand, played with it, and put it back after he was satisfied. You want me to help you practice magic weapons? Senior brother is really smart. I want senior brother to use this piece of fire essence to help me practice a divine fire seal. The divine fire seal is actually the abbreviation of the Mission Town sect's spiritual weapon Nine Lao Immortal Capital Divine Fire Seal. Many mission disciples were envious of the power of this sect's treasure, so they practiced it as their own magical weapon. However, without a spiritual weapon, no one would be embarrassed to call their treasure the Nine Lao Immortal Capital Divine Fire Seal, and they all refer to it as Sacred Fire Seal. Su Junming nodded. I can help you practice, but the remaining materials must be considered as reward. In the practice world, the rule for practicing magical weapons is the 7-3 distribution. 7 points of the materials are used to refine the treasure, and 3 points of the materials are used as rewards. If the materials brought in are less than 3 points left after the ritual, the person who entrusted the ritual has to provide a certain amount of compensation. The size of this fire spirit marrow is nearly 6 inches. According to the sacrificial training requirements of the 9 Elder Immortal Capital Divine Fire Seal recorded in the Sacred Fire Order, it is only 3 inches and 9 centimeters. There is enough left. I understand the rules, senior brother, don't worry. But for this Divine Fire Seal, senior brother only needs to practice the 4th level of Treasure Ban. Su Junming's eyes flashed. It was obvious that he didn't trust his weapon refining skills. But it's understandable. After all, fire spirit essence is rare, so it's normal to be cautious. Seeing him nodding, Lu Dihua continued, Brother, how long will it take for me to get the sacred fire seal? Half a month will be enough. Half moon? Are you sure? Su Junming nodded affirmatively. In fact, he talked too much for half a month. The sacrificial training methods of the 9 Elder Immortal Capital Divine Fire Seal are already made. When he was in Mission Sutra Pavilion, with the help of previous experience and the help of the bronze mirror, he had already understood it thoroughly. Now it is naturally not difficult to follow the gourd and draw the scoop. What's more, fire spirit essence, as a middle-grade spiritual material of Dongzhen, can accommodate 6 levels of treasure taboos. Now it is much easier to practice only 4 levels of treasure taboos. With his level of weapon refining and his level of cultivation in the Sacred Fire Order, and with the assistance of the bronze mirror, he could complete the refining in 3 days if he continued uninterrupted. It took half a month, but Su Junming didn't intend to spend all his time on it. For him, refining weapons has always been a hobby. After practicing Qi and breathing to increase magic power, comprehending the Tao and increasing Taoism, this is the foundation. Senior brother, can it really be done in half a month? Don't force it, I'm not in a hurry. You just need to pick it up after half a month. Seeing how steadfast he was in his vow, Lu Dihua couldn't say much. After explaining a few words, he left with hesitation. After closing the door, Su Junming frowned when he saw the fire spirit essence on the table. That's not right. I heard from Master that Master Chen Xiaofeng is the 3rd-ranked weapon refining master in our sect after Master Qian Dinglin's uncle from the Law Enforcement Hall and Grand Master Zheng Qiang's uncle Zun. Before he came, he asked I'd like to ask for advice, why does his apprentice come to me to refine his natal magic weapon? It seems that the drunkard is not interested in drinking. However, Su Junming had no intention of going back. After all, this matter was also good for him. When he came to the front hall and saw his master standing in front of the counter, Lu Dihua hurriedly walked over. Is the matter done? Yes. But it's a bit unexpected. What accident? He said it only takes half a month to practice. Half moon, Chen Xiaofeng frowned. Did you tell him that you wanted to practice the 4th level of Treasure Ban? How could the apprentice not tell such an important thing? And in the end, I asked him specifically, and he said half a month would be enough. After thinking for a moment, Chen Xiaofeng raised his brows and smiled. Interesting, let's wait for half a month. I want to see if this nephew is as good as he said. Use the sealing charm again to seal the room. Su Junming placed 300 smelted red copper, 300 smelted white iron, fire marrow, and purple spirit white fire in front of him one by one. Take a deep breath, recite the Pure Heart Sutras silently, and recite the 8 divine mantras orally until the mind is clear. After 100 thoughts have stopped, the magic power pulls the fire spirit marrow to a place 3 feet away, parallel to the chest. With the help of the bronze mirror's ability to break illusions, After clearly seeing all the internal structures of the fire spirit marrow, he waved his hands, and 4 sharp rays of Shinjin Qi were cut from 4 directions. Su Junming moved quickly, pieces of excess fire essence fell off, and a large turtle button seal gradually became clear. Finally, after carving the 9 small seals, 9 old immortal capital divine fire seals on the bottom, he breathed a sigh of relief. With a wave of his hand, he took the completed seal in his hand and looked at it. This turtle button seems a bit ugly. He has been studying Taoism with Simu for more than 3 years, and he has also been exposed to sculpture. However, Taoist carvings are not meant to be sold for money, as long as they have the shape and are not too exquisite, so Su Junming did not study it in depth. If you want to improve your level in carving, you need time to practice, and he is still far behind. Play with it for a while and put it down for now. As soon as the magic formula in his hand changed, the light of the purple spirit white fire surged, and the hot white flames encompassed 300 smelted red copper and white iron. After a short time, the red copper and white iron slowly melted and mixed into a ball of cyan liquid. Su Junming's consciousness combined with his magic power gradually stretched the liquid into a 5-inch tall lotus lantern. After removing the purple spirit white fire, the cyan liquid gradually solidified. Su Junming kept using magic spells in his hands, and one fingerprint after another flew into the lamp. Gradually, a warm light red light emerged from the lotus lamp. As more and more restrictions are imposed, the red light becomes more and more abundant. With a buzz, after the 3 legal prohibitions were completed, the lotus light dimmed and returned to its bronze color. With a wave of his right hand, the sharp Shinjin Qi streaked across the finger-thick lamp pole, and the 3-character seal Ziyang lamp appeared on it. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 100. Chapter 100 Ziyang Lantern. Looking at the double-layered lotus petals, slightly buckled, the lamp head is about 3 inches in diameter, the lamp pole is about the thickness of an adult's thumb and 2 inches high, plus the round base with no pattern, 1 inch and 9 centimeters high. The whole purple sun lantern is not very gorgeous, and is even a bit primitive. But Su Junming liked it very much. After playing with it in his hand, he pointed at the purple spirit white fire. The crystal seal on the outside shattered with a bang. The light surged and turned into a 3-inch high beam. It burned violently and turned white on the outside. Inside is a light blue flame. With a wave of his left hand, the fire essence left over from refining the sacred fire seal floated into the air. With a wave of his left hand, it turned into powder with a continuous click sound, and a rich flame filled the air. The magic power was transferred, and the broken pieces of fire spirit marrow flew into the purple spirit white fire. Absorbing the fire energy accumulated over hundreds of years inside, the purple spirit white fire broke through 3 feet in an instant, moving from the lower level of Dongzhen to the middle level. When all the fire energy in the fire spirit marrow was absorbed, the purple spirit white fire also grew to 5 inches in size. The power of this flame alone is no less than a medium-grade magic weapon with 5 levels of treasure. Nodding with satisfaction, Su Junming patted the magic bag and a porcelain bottle fell into his hand. Remove the seal above, open the stopper, and channel the magic power. Countless fine brown powders fly out, fall into the Ziyang lamp, and fall into the base space along the hollow lamp pole. These black powders are the essence of charcoal. Su Junming made a thunder-strike peachwood sword from the piece of lightning strike wood he obtained on the roof of the church in Jiquan town, except for a few parts that were not carbonized by lightning. It is still left with Uncle Ju. Most of the rest, he removed the dross and refined the charcoal essence. This thing is rich in wood energy, and the wood makes fire. It is an excellent material for practicing magic tools and magic weapons. If you are facing an enemy, you only need to release a little bit, and the power of the purple spirit white fire will increase by 1 level. Even without using magic power, it can still exert great power. Of course, Charcoal is best used for refining weapons and elixirs. If fighting enemies, refined spiritual oil is obviously more suitable. Spiritual oil is condensed with petroleum. After 100 refinements, it can be considered as Dongjin's lower grade. After 300 refinements, it can be considered as Dongjin's middle grade. After 600 refinements, it can be considered as Dongjin's top grade. After 900 refinements, it can be considered as Dongjin's top grade. After 1000 refinements, it can be considered as Dongxian. Low-grade spiritual oil. It is recorded in the Mission Sutra Pavilion that a soybean-sized Dongxian low-grade spiritual oil is enough to turn everything within 100 miles into a sea of fire, and it will burn for 3 hours without being extinguished. Extremely powerful. The price of spiritual oil is not cheap. Su Junming has Dongjin's high-grade charcoal essence, which is enough for a long time, so there is no need to buy it for the time being. Put the charcoal, pull it with your right hand, and the purple spirit white fire slowly falls into the lotus lamp. As the distance is pulled closer, the flame also begins to compress. When the two sides merge into one, the 5-inch flame is only 1 inch in size, floating in the center of the lotus lamp burns silently. The clear light illuminated Su Junming's entire body. Feeling the faint warmth in the light, Su Junming nodded with satisfaction. Xiang Den is finally done. This lamp is recorded in the Sacred Fire Order. It is one of 4 treasures that can be refined to the first level of magic weapon. It is at the same level as the Sacred Fire Token, the Divine Fire Seal of 9 Elder Immortal Capitals, and the Yin-Yang Furnace. The Xiang lamp is divided into 2 parts. The lamp is a mixture of Oriental purple energy and flame essence. It is mellow, benevolent, upright, and gentle. It can not only refine elixirs and weapons, but also subdue external demons. The lamp holder can store lamp oil, and the lamp pole can suppress foreign enemies. The lotus lamp head contains a spiritual gathering array, which can automatically gather aura and flame essence, practice lamp flames, and warm lamp oil. A purple sun lamp has 3 magical functions: protecting the body, killing enemies, and refining weapons, fully demonstrating the wonder of Taoist magic weapons. After playing with it in his hand, Su Junming placed the purple sun lamp on the front of his left leg. With a push of magic power, the spirit gathering array began to operate. The spiritual energy and southern Luo energy were attracted, slowly tempering this treasure. Counting the time silently, 3 days have passed. There is no rush to practice the sacred fire seal for Lu Dihua. Allocate a portion of your attention to practice the Xiang lantern, and use the rest of your energy to comprehend the Huishan talisman with the help of the bronze mirror. Ever since he comprehended the Huishan talisman to 8 feet and understood the technique of space compression, Su Junming's enthusiasm for the way of space has been unprecedentedly high. During this period of time, I have been practicing hard and not falling, but it is difficult to understand the way of space, and the progress is not fast. It will take several months for the Huishan talisman to grow to 9 feet. Ha! Lu Dihua yawned and lay on the counter listlessly. Hey, why don't our seniors write more novels that explore human nature and body? Actually, you can write it yourself. Lu Dihua's eyes lit up, as if he had been hit in the G-spot. Yes, I can write it myself. I want to write in all the good plots. After a pause, he turned around suddenly as if he noticed something, and looked at the tall young Taoist standing behind him with his hands behind his back, wearing a green Taoist robe, and said with surprise on his face, "Senior brother, are you out of seclusion?" Su Junming nodded. "The divine fire seal. Fortunately, I live up to my fate." Stretching out his right palm, a stream of flames flew out from the magic pouch at his waist. After falling into his palm, a large seal measuring 3 inches and 9 centimeters appeared. The large seal is 3 inches and 9 centimeters wide and high. It is turned into a tortoise button. It is red all over, with bursts of rays of light surrounding it. It is surrounded by the air of Luo in the south, and the atmosphere is extraordinary. "Brother, Can I get started and take a look? Lu Dihua rubbed his hands expectantly. It's yours, take it. With a flick of his hand, the divine fire seal flew into Lu Dihua's palm. Immerse yourself in spiritual consciousness for the first time and feel it carefully. Although his level of weapon refining is not very high, he has been in the Dengzhen Pavilion for a long time and his ability to taste is extraordinary. The texture of the organ is uniform, without any impurities, the legal veins are smooth, and the magic power runs smoothly, the restraints are condensed and tough, and every rune is closely connected, without any omissions. The more he spoke, the more surprised the expression on Lu Dihua's face became. Later, it became a shock again. Suddenly, the divine fire seal flew up and fell into the hands of Chen Xiaofeng, who was already standing by the counter at some point. After stimulating his consciousness to experience it, his pupils tightened and he stared at the tall young nephew he met. Did you really practice this? I also invite my uncle to taste it? Su Junming nodded and said. A look of surprise appeared on Chen Xiaofeng's face. After a moment, he said, you have done a good job. Except for the ugly shape of the turtle button, there are no major flaws in this sacred fire seal. Thank you for the compliment, uncle. Chen Xiaofeng nodded and looked at him for a moment. If you are allowed to continue practicing, how many more restraints can you practice? 1. The moon waxes and wanes, but Su Junming didn't say too much. With his current ability to refine weapons and his understanding of the way of fire, he can refine the 6th restraint. However, the fire spirit marrow, as a middle-grade spiritual material of Dongzhen, can be used to cultivate up to 6 treasure forbidden paths, and the last one is particularly difficult, better than the previous 5 paths combined.